All right, guys, we're back again with another video here. We made the video for just the schoolhouse that the Coopers preserved, and this you might have seen Sherry already. She's in their marketing department, and this is Susie, and she works with them there in the marketing too. And they're going to take us in and tell us the history of the school and how the Coopers preserved it.
So kind of interesting about the schoolhouse here is that this is not the original spot where it was located. It's been moved 3 times. It was built in 1907, and when it opened, the Watauga Democrat called it the finest school in Watauga County. And part of the reason it was called that is because it had high school, which at that point in time would have been 8th grade.
And it's 2-room school?
2 rooms, yes.
2 rooms.
And there was a stove at one point in time that kind of sat in between that heated both rooms.
Okay. Well, let's go in and take a look at it.
All right, let's do it. So the schoolhouse here, this is kind of the way it originally appeared with your entry foyer and your double doors over there and stuff. It was originally white. So, and most of the schoolhouses in this area were painted white. It was easy color paint to get. And I think most schoolhouses in the Northeast, up in the New England area, would have been painted kind of this color red. So today, this schoolhouse is used for sale products and stuff like that. So if you come to this part of the original store, you'll find a lot of different things. Sometimes there are mercantile items, kitchen things, sometimes there's shoes, sometimes there's clothes, sometimes there's sheets, sometimes it's whatever we can find, and we offer it at a good sale price. But this has gone through several iterations and uses. So it was a bookstore at one point in time. It was a pottery operated by J&S Beaumont Pottery.
Now at this location or before it was moved here?
Here.
Right here, okay.
Yes.
And what year did it get moved here to the store?
I believe it was 88, 89 in that area, and it was open in 89. And
the Coopers, well, how did they obtain the schoolhouse? Did they buy it from the county, or how did they come about owning it? It was actually located
in the field right next to us, behind the red barn that you'll see kind of in the background here. They just didn't have a need for it anymore. It had been used for a tobacco barn, and they weren't using it for a tobacco barn anymore. So John talked to, I can't remember who put it on rollers and moved it over here, but it was put on, raised up off the foundation, put on log rollers and towed over here by a bulldozer, and is set in place where it is today. Good morning. So if you look, this is a picture of room number 1 in 1930. And the other thing you'll look is most of the kids up here are barefoot. Got one girl's got on a pair of saddle Oxfords here. Very plain dresses, overalls. So, and then this, I don't know when this one was taken, but most of the kids are a little older here, and most of them have on shoes.
So I noticed you said the picture said classroom or room 1. Mm-hmm. So you was either in room 1 or room 2, so they combined a lot of the grades, I guess.
Right. And the older students would help the younger students kind of move along. They might share books, like my grandmother was a teacher, and she would tell me about blueback spellers. So you would buy your books, and you could order them at the store, get them at the store. We did business with the Ginn Scholastic school book company. We have invoices from the early 1900s where we would order those books for kids to come by, and then they'd be passed down through the rest of their family.
So you say you got invoices. Was that stuff that was left in the school, this building itself, that you came by, or did somebody bring them and donate them later?
Actually, they were maintained at the store.
At the store?
Yes. So Mr. Mast had, he would take wallpaper books, and he would paste the invoices that he got from the different vendors that he dealt with, and would mark them paid. So we can flip back through those and see kind of what we were buying from the years of 1898 through about 1920 here and there.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty cool.
How about that? So this has been room 1. It's got high ceilings. What are these, about 12, 14 foot maybe?
Maybe even taller than that.
Yeah.
They're pretty tall.
I guess they did that because of the heat, no air conditioning, let it be cooler in here.
Right, and gave you bigger windows to open and let the breeze come through. So, and I'm not sure, you know, if we had the first, what I'll call modern era open classrooms or not. I went to a school that had open classrooms, so if you were in a 3rd grade class, you would hear what was going on in the other 3rd grade class right next to you. And the 3rd grade class wasn't separated from the 2nd grade class, so you kind of hear what's going on everywhere. It was really weird. That school doesn't have open classrooms anymore, but I'm not sure if that was done here or not. Or, I mean, we've opened this up between the 2 rooms to give us a way to control. If we don't want to open this one, we can kind of close it off. But the wall here looks like it is period correct. And in this area here, you can see where there's a little discoloration on the floor. So this is where the stove sat to keep both classrooms warm. And the kids, as a part of their fee for attending school, if you will, would bring in firewood to help keep the school warm.
Did they bring it from their house, or
Yep.
they just have to carry it in from outside?
They bring it from their house.
Bring it from their house,
Yep.
okay, to pay for going to school. How about
Yep.
that? So this room looks, maybe it's like a little bit bigger. Was it upper classes possibly over here? Do you know?
Possibly. I wish I had asked Mary Hazel Farthing, who's actually married H. Mast. I know Seth talked to you about H and Howard and W.W. Mast. Mary Hazel Mast went to this school and then actually taught in this school. She was a school teacher, and she lives just down the way here.
Okay, so she's still living and taught at this school?
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
So
you'll notice a few things in here that have been added for convenience, like the restroom and the dressing rooms and stuff like that. But it's, as much as what we could, we tried to preserve it as much as what it was like as we could. The lights, I don't think that they are original to the schoolhouse, but they are very similar to what you would have found in the schoolhouse.
do we know if there's anything here that's original for the school? I see you've got a lot of school items in here.
Probably not original for this. There are things that we've acquired from time to time that would be kind of period correct for 1907 or during the period that it was used as a school. But none of this, as far as I know, is from this school.
Okay. All right, so we've came out back of the schoolhouse, so you can show us where it was moved to a little bit better. And we see the school that's still here, that's being used today, right here. So tell us a little bit. It was originally across the street back in 1907 when it was built?
1907, yes. So if you visit Valle Crucis and you visit the Mast Store Annex, the schoolhouse was originally across the road, kind of behind the Methodist Church. And that's where it was built in 1907. And then when they built the Valle Crucis Elementary School here, which was built as a WPA project, the first one in Valle Crucis, and it was actually managed by a guy who lived in Valle Crucis. They moved the schoolhouse across the road, around back of the school, the rock part, which you can see down here still, and used it as an auxiliary classroom, a gym, a lunchroom, or whatever they needed some extra space for. And then after it kind of lost its usefulness to the school system, it was offered up for sale, and Mr. Mast and Mr. Taylor decided that they both wanted the barn, and they couldn't decide on who was going, or the schoolhouse, and they couldn't decide who was going to get it. So they flipped a coin to see who was going to get the schoolhouse, and then eventually use it as a tobacco barn. So Mr. Taylor won, and it was moved to this site behind this barn here. where it stayed until 1988-89 when the Coopers bought it and moved it across the little road here.
Moved it for the third time.
Yep.
And we was talking about that, about the Coopers, how they've kind of been really working on preserving the structures and history of the area. So is that a passion of theirs, or?
To call it a passion would be probably an understatement.
Yeah.
I think they really have a calling to kind of link what is today to yesterday,
Okay.
and help people see the importance of it. It's even our stores in bigger towns, and you've been to the one in Knoxville,
Yes.
so you know that we can't possibly recreate the experience that you would have here, because it's just different. We're out in the middle of the country, and it's quiet. You see cattle grazing, or you might see a big cornfield. You just don't see that in the bigger towns. But what we try to do in places like Knoxville and Boone and Greenville and stuff is to find an old building that kind of speaks to us and tell its story, and can pull that story forward and talk about the people who were in that, the people and the businesses that were in that location before us, and carry that forward, and then give people an experience in that store that is an experience of yesterday, where customer service was important,
Yes.
listening to the customer's needs and wants and what they're looking for, and providing information to help that person make the best decision that they can.
So yeah, well, we're going to close this video out, but there's a couple videos before this one and probably another one after this one, so make sure to watch for all the videos. There's so much here at the at this location to look at. You have the Made in the USA River Cross store here. Everything's made in the USA. We went in there yesterday. Mm-hmm. You have the schoolhouse, you have the store. Then there's also the park we talked about right back behind the school yesterday a little bit. Now was that started by the Coopers too somehow, or how did that come about?
I would say the Coopers had a hand in that, but it was kind of a groundswell with the community, because it was some land that was up to be purchased, and there was lots of what I'll call whispers. Somebody's going to buy that and put in a campground or a mobile home park or whatever, and the community's like, oh, we can't let that happen because it just didn't fit with what was going on here in Valle Crucis. So the community came together, the Mast store threw in, the Coopers threw in, employees threw in, and raised the money to buy the first 10 acres of the park. And then they invested not only their money, but they invested their time to grade it out and to put in some playground equipment, and to construct a walking trail and restrooms and picnic pavilions and stuff like that. And it's grown to 20 acres now. And it's still very much a community park. As a matter of fact, I think the auction's coming up the first part of September, which is the park's primary fundraiser, and it's people donate products to that, businesses donate products to it, individuals donate products. It's a great event. It brings together community, and I mean, every Friday night in the summer they have probably 1,000 or more people who show up for the concerts. It truly is the meaning of a community park.
Yeah, I noticed yesterday talking to some of the other employees that everybody has an excitement about the park. Seems like everybody really wants to be a part of what's going on there. As far as I was talking about the auction yesterday and a few things. So.
Yeah, it is a beautiful place. It's you can go for bird watching walks. I think those are on Wednesday mornings, and there's always a big contingent of people who come out for that, and there are an amazing number of birds that you can see there. I think it's like 80 or maybe even more than that of species of birds you can see in the park.
All right, well, we're going to close this video out and go to the next one. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.